Hello and welcome to Hot Topics from the Soul. I'm your host, Dr. Valerie Parker Hagan, and I'm so glad to be here with you before the year is out. I have my co-host.
And good evening, Dr. J.R. Ficklin here. And we're just so glad to be with you here on what is undoubtedly, the next is the last Tuesday in the month of December in the year 2023.
Indeed, I'm so excited, Dr. J. We could not let this year end without greeting and saying hello to our supporters. We have so
Absolutely.
many supporters and followers that have reached out and said, "Where are you? I missed the show on Tuesday. How do I get it?" Well, we took a little break. Our schedules got so busy. We've been traveling and doing different things, but we've always thought of you that are following us and anticipate what we're going to say. And tonight, I wanted to let you know that you are more than just a holiday. So many people are getting depressed now because Christmas is coming, because this is their first of not having a loved one there, or this is the first time of, going to be alone at Christmas because of a breakup or a divorce or a death. And I want you to know that you're more than a holiday. It's another day. Don't put so much pressure on you for that day, because every day that you show up is a good day.
Absolutely. And it's so important for us to recognize that, we understand holidays are important, and they are. We understand that there are shared memories and shared experiences that you have with particular loved ones during that time. And so it is. But by the same token, I want to encourage you that inside of it, your reason for living, your state of mind, your state of spirit, you cannot afford to allow that to be totally dictated by a holiday. Understand, somewhere in the world, no one cares anything about that holiday at all. It's significant to us culturally because these are the things that we've embraced and that we have received. And because we have, in many ways, what's supposed to be tis the season to be jolly ends up being tis the season to be sad, to be depressed, to feel isolated, to feel thrown away. And so the only way we can change that is really changing our mindset and understand the fact that our value go beyond a holiday. The holiday, once again, is an artificial construct. We as people, society, we created, we established those holidays, and then we ascribe certain activities and certain traditions that have come with it. But to the point that many people, we live our whole lives around it. I mean, think about it. There are people right now, and I used to be in that category too, that are going to go broke. They're going to go into red crazy because of this holiday, because something about this time of year, I want to make sure I get this person a gift. I want to make sure I give that a gift. I got to make sure all those things. And the reality is that, think about it. If we wasn't so invested in a holiday, could we not have been spreading that out throughout the year, giving things throughout the year? But somehow or another, it's not the same, so we say. And so the holiday gets magnified, and it gets magnified. And as you just said, for many people, they're experiencing first. And we are definitely sensitive to people. Perhaps this is your first holiday season without a loved one, without a mother, father, sibling, child even. Perhaps this is your first holiday. But what we want to be able to say to you is that understand that your life, your existence, your value, your work is more than a holiday. It's beyond that. And please don't play into what I like to call, once again, the socialization of things such like this. Christmas, just like Christmas without the one you love.
Yeah.
Those type of songs bring on depression, and people get caught up in it, and they start feeling bad. They start lamenting about, last year this time, me and my boo was together, and, he left me for this person. Or we find ourselves reacting, and all of a sudden we find ourselves in a situationship just to get through the holiday. And guess what? It probably wouldn't have been so bad, but nobody notified the other that this was just to get through the holidays.
Right, right. And it's kind of sad and it's bittersweet because of the fact that, it's supposed to be a joyous occasion, as you said, but then the sadness of so many people that become invisible. Folks get so
Absolutely.
caught up in, other things and situationships and stuff till they forget those people that are really important, or they forget their neighbor that's right next door. You should always focus on letting every day be a day that you show love, every day be a day you are at the light and be the light of the
Is
world,
it?
as the Lord has said. He didn't just say be the light of the world on Christmas. He said be the light every day. It's
Absolutely.
time that we start recognizing individuals because they are not invisible. I think when I think about people that, commit different crimes and stuff, and I wonder to myself sometimes, I say, I wonder if someone saw them, or if they were on their way to do whatever they were going to do. Did somebody greet them, say hello, or give a smile or something that could have prevented that? So many people are depressed and they do things out of depression. They get angry because nobody sees them, nobody cares. And that's another thing that, a lot of people they gravitate and may do for this holiday season. And then there's some that say, well, I'm not going to be bothered. It's just me, myself, and I and my family. I don't have time to minister. I don't have time for other folks. But that shouldn't be the case. Every day we need to be able to be a light and say something good. I'm in the grocery store, I'm in the mall, I'm in a restaurant.
Exactly.
I always show kindness and stuff because there's no little I's and big U's, and those of you that go to restaurants and what is they call the people that be Karens at restaurants
Yes.
and individuals are
Yes, exactly.
serving you. A lot of restaurants close early because they don't have employees, because the
Exactly.
employees are saying, I'm sick and tired of being insulted. I'm sick and tired of bad behavior and people yelling and cursing and swearing. The meal is messed up like we used to do. I'm sorry, this is not prepared right. Can you redo it? Well,
Exactly.
we got to focus and learn to be kind and be patient.
Yes, yes. And that's interesting because isn't it amazing that the holiday that we celebrate during this time, and we sing songs about it. You know what those songs say? It says things like this: "Peace on earth and
Peace
goodwill
on
toward
well
all
and
men,"
goodwill to
and,
men.
and yet it seemed to bring out the worst in people.
Mhm.
It's no peace. We're raising hell. It is not always goodwill toward all people. There are people that you see them at their rudest during this time. You see
Yeah.
them doing things that are unthinkable during this time. And so we have to be intentional and deliberate inside of it and being mindful because, as you just said, we don't know who we're encountering. We ought to be sensitive enough to know that perhaps a person is mourning. Perhaps a person is going through some things. Perhaps a person just need a hello. Sometimes they just need being acknowledged. Oftentimes, I go different places, and you can get out of the car to go into the convenience store, or gas station, or whatever. And you might see someone out there, asking for money or whatever. Can you give me something to get something to eat with? And those things happen, and it's so easy for some people to just dismiss and say, "Well, they're just trying to get over on you." But let's put it this way here: if they're willing to humiliate themselves in that manner, then it must be really bad.
Mm.
It must be really bad. But my whole thing is that we cannot necessarily look at our holiday, and it's a very precious time, and I want to make sure I don't minimize it. but we're so much more than just that holiday. We're more than that. Our value, our worth is there. We have to find a way to get through things in a way, even when we don't have nobody in our lives, when we feel all by myself, when you feel that way, you got to find a way to get through it, because of the fact you bring so much more to it. And I think when we focus on the experience and the memories, that does a number on us. And I'm not saying don't treasure the memories, but I'm saying don't get stuck there. Create new memories, create new things to
Exactly.
do, create new traditions and new customs. Learn to give. I always say one of the best thing, therapeutic thing for me is giving. Give of myself.
Yes.
Give of myself. Go someplace where it's go someplace and give something to people who don't have the ability to reciprocate it. Anybody stop by the convalescent centers or nursing homes, any of those things lately? Anybody decide to stop by the hospital and just visit and spread cheer? And I believe that if we learn to do some things like that, we won't find ourselves singing the blues, and we won't be singing songs like Christmas, just not Christmas, without the love one you love.
Dr. J, I'm reminded when I was growing up, I was out of high school and Christmas came around and I was at home with my family and I didn't get anything for Christmas.
Wow.
Not one gift from nobody. It broke my heart because I bought gifts for everybody and I didn't get one thing. We were sitting around a tree, they was wrapping it,
Wow.
and my heart was broken. And I think that is one of the times that it thrusted me into ministry, where I said, I'm not going to want anyone to feel like I felt at this moment. And
Yes.
so I always was a giver. I
Yes.
always was a giver, but that kind of accelerated that. And during the holidays and stuff, I give to children stuff because I said, I don't want anyone to feel like that. I wasn't a child, but I was still looking and expecting someone.
Yeah.
And I want to say, and when I say to you, you're more than a holiday, I'm speaking from experience.
Hmm.
You are more than a holiday because guess what? You're a miracle. Every day that you get up, it's a miracle. Every day that you're able to brush your teeth and wash your face and put on clothes, and it is a miracle. So celebrate the life that you have and then reach out to others, and then you can create a combustion of love so that you won't be invisible and that person you connect with won't feel invisible or lonely at that time. Go and help a senior citizen. I'm sure that in your neighborhood, you or apartment building, you pass people, you pass children every day. Give one gift of love, one token of love, and it'll make you feel so much better because guess what? When you give that token of love, you're going to get a smile. And that smile is worth every moment that you spend that day. You will go through that whole day happy and excited because of the fact that you gave and you made somebody else feel good and it would make you feel good too.
That's a very powerful statement that you made there, because so many times we forget the power of how we make a difference. And let me say, we can make that difference reaching beyond ourselves.
Hmm.
There's some people who have spent time inside of toxic relationships and relationships that simply wasn't healthy, and it was predicated upon gifts, but it was predicated upon dollar value of a gift. And so oftentimes a person might have been made to feel as if they were not valued because the gift was not expensive enough. And so
Yeah.
there goes that whole concept of feeling like the fact that, okay, if the gift is not something extravagant, then it didn't come from a good place. And that's the thing I'm saying. The most precious things in life are really free. They're free when it's given intentionally, when it's given authentically, when it's given from a place of heart and connection there, not based upon the fact that I'm going to influence you with how much I paid for it. There are a lot of people today. The reason that they're spending this holiday alone is not because the fact that they had to be, but because oftentimes the way that they have lived their own lives, the way that they have dealt with people, the way that they have, if you would, undercut people, minimize people, not value people. And this is this season where we want to give. We want to give of ourselves. We want to give love. We want to show love because the fact this is what this holiday is really all about. It's about the gift. Think about it. God so loved the world that he
He
gave,
gave.
gave what? This gift, right? Gave his
And we
only
ain't a
begotten
church
son.
trying to collect no offering neither.
Exactly. We didn't try to collect the offer, but it's but it's interesting that he gave us the gift of life through through his son. And what I'm saying is this: during this holiday season, let's not be tricked by the enemy, and even inside of emotions. Even if this is your first holiday without a loved one, your first holiday without an individual, significant event. Why don't you do something special? You know, think about something that that individual used to like doing with you and go and do something, release something in their name. If they were a painter and they like painting, go and paint something in their name. If they like fishing, go and fish in their name. Do something that will actually just, if you would, translate itself as being part of the healing and then still being one with that individual.
Yes.
Don't the don't you don't want to do. You don't want to go and begin to soak yourself in depression. You don't want to go binge drinking, binge smoking, binge sexing, or whatever. These are the things that are unhealthy. But I promise you, when you understand the fact that there's so much more to you,
So
there's so much
much
more
more.
to you than a holiday. And even if you're the one that was on the end of being broken up with a dump, let me say something to you. Sometimes people don't recognize something good until it's gone. They don't recognize the fact that something good to is gone. And so one man's junk is another person's treasure. And you need to understand that you are a treasure, you are a jewel, that you have something to offer. You are significant, you are fearfully, you're wonderfully made. Listen, you are made to make a difference. And when you start getting that type of mindset, even during these times, you realize that, listen here, you have something to offer. And in the words of Diana Ross, you can say, I'm coming out. I want the world to know and let it show. Absolutely.
Yes, this is a different season. We move from seasons to seasons as we move from glory to glory and blessings to blessings. So, we want individuals to know that, we love them here at Hot Topics from the Soul, and we care about you, and we want you to be the best you that you can be. Don't rely on other people to make you happy. You can make yourself happy. There's so many good things coming out in the movies on Christmas Day. If
Yeah.
there's nobody there to, you know, open a gift with you, go to the movies. Take yourself out to dinner. Or if you have friends, call them and say, "Hey, did you cook?" I used to do
Mhm.
that all the time. I used to call individuals and say, "Hey, how y'all doing? Did y'all cook over there?" And they say, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, good. Can I get a plate?" I
Yeah,
invited
absolutely.
myself.
Right.
I
Right.
invited
Exactly.
myself over,
Exactly.
because my kids grew up and
Yeah.
they was, so there was a time before I met my husband that I was by myself. But, I had invitations to go places, but I really didn't want to go because sometimes you just want to just relax. You don't want to be uh what do you call, not display is not the word I'm looking for, but you don't want to always be on. You just want to relax and just
Yeah.
be you. You don't want to be, oh, a personality, or this is Dr. Val, blah blah blah. You just want to be just everyday person, and I hope that individuals that I've actually touched or had the chance to meet individually one by one, I hope that I gave you the authentic me and you felt the authentic love, that I'm just me, and I love
Absolutely.
you, and I like hugging on people, and, because I really like people. I really do.
Yes.
And one of the main things I like about people is just seeing the transformation before my eyes, just to see a person light up because you acknowledge them. So I want you, as a gift to yourself, to
Mhm.
reach out to someone and let them know that you see them and they are not invisible.
That's a powerful statement, you made, because even when we look at the fact that the power of acknowledging someone, there's a few instances, even in the Bible, you'll find out when the man was outside of the gate, and he's begging for alms. Imagine the number of people that would pass him by and would walk right by him,
Mhm.
as if he wasn't significant. But
Mhm.
when Peter and John stopped, and although the man may have gotten excited because of the fact he thought they was getting ready to go into that little cash purse coin and give them, give him some money and all that. But what did he say? They said, silver and gold
I ain't got that
have I
money.
not? I ain't got it. But such as I have given to thee, you know, and they proclaim something to him to rise, get up from there. And the thing about it is that for some people, all they need, and this is something that God has given you and I the power to do, is someone to stop, to acknowledge them, to speak into their lives. And sometimes, you know what? We're too busy to speak into people's lives because they don't look the right way. They don't see
Mm.
the right way. They don't smell the right way. And for some reason, we want people to be cosmetic sinners. We want people to be cosmetic broken people. We want them to be cosmetic, depressed people. No, it comes in whatever way it comes. But we have to be discerning enough to know, how can I make a difference in someone's life? How could I make a difference? Is it amazing? We would spend more money trying to impress folks who really don't care nothing about us at all, rather than being able to sow into somebody's life who, guess what, really need it, that could use a hand up at that time. And so I say to you, one of the best ways, once again, one of my best ways of feeling good about myself is giving to others. It just
Yeah.
simply is. And whether that's giving of my time, my talent, or my treasure, I've done that. And Dr. Val, I've done it for a long time, as you know, inside of all that. So 2024 marks a very significant year for me. 2024 marks a year of I crossed the 50s, expire in my life, the 50s, it reached the expiration date, and I turn into 60. And, my plans is to have not only a great 60th birthday, but a community appreciation celebration that year. I've never done that. In all my
Mhm.
entire 38, 39 years of ministry, I've never done that. It's
Wow.
part of it. But I've been, there are others that say, listen, it's time, it's time, it's time. And I invite those who say that, listen, come on, get in on the steering committee. Let's make this work. But it's not so much about that. It is the extension of which you reach lives. Some very intentionally, others non intentionally. And that's what it's really all about. Somebody will see this show tonight and be encouraged.
Yes.
They will understand that they're bigger than just a holiday. They're bigger than a holiday, and I want them to
Mhm.
know that. I remember one time in my life with my kids, and I never forget. It was a very shallow Christmas, meaning the fact, you know, it just wasn't flowing like that. The money wasn't abundant like that. I was waiting on a check to come through that hadn't come through yet, and man, I was like feeling bad about what I was going to do for my kids that year, and I wasn't able to give them things like I wanted to. And I will never forget, as I picked them up and I gave them what I had, they had a gift for me, and all of it was in the form of letters.
Mm.
They wrote me letters telling me how much it meant to them that I was their dad, and that the way that I love them, and that I show love all year round, and that my love was bigger than any holiday. You talk about liberated. You talk about it liberated me. The check came 2 days later, but let me say something to you. I was liberated that day because of the fact I wasn't held hostage. I
Right.
wasn't held
Right.
hostage to one day. I wasn't held hostage. All the good you've done all year round is all of a sudden reduced to one holiday.
One day, you're
When one,
held hostage by that. And as a parent, it does break your heart because, I was homeless during a holiday, during Christmas holiday,
yeah,
Thanksgiving holiday for 3 months. Me and my children were homeless. And, we didn't have a tree or anything. But when we got into our place, that next Christmas, I had got a tree for $10 from Walgreens. It was
yeah,
after Christmas. And I told the children, I said, the next Christmas, we're going to have a tree. And I have that tree up right now. So it's been, this tree is almost, it is over 20 years old. This tree is about
Wow.
28 years
Wow.
old. And it is, the kids be like, Ma, you still got that tree? I said, it's still firm. It still has all the tristles on it. It's fuller than these $100 trees you're getting in this store.
Absolutely.
And I said, it's a symbol of liberation. It's a symbol of freedom. It's a symbol of, we made it. We overcame it. We did this. So, no, I'm not getting rid of this tree. Every year I'm going to box it up, put it up, and pack it up and pull it back out again. And we're going to throw gifts underneath there, because guess what? Even if it's one little twig on there,
Yeah.
it symbolizes freedom, that I was not held hostage, as you said, and I was not going to be bound again. And I'm so glad that my children are givers like me, because, they experience the
Right.
loss. They experience what it was not to have. And so they don't make, these big declarations of stuff with the Christmas is basically for the little grandchildren right now. There's no pressure. If they walk through the door and they had nothing, I'm fine with that, because I see them. So here
Absolutely.
is the thing: we have to see individuals and love them while they're here, appreciate the life that they give and they share with you. Appreciate small things. People that are in situationships that have this fake love going on based on what you give me and what you do for me, that's not love. And you need to let it go. That's not love.
Right.
Love is given expecting nothing in return. But if you're giving love, it needs to be reciprocated. If you're giving gifts and that, it needs to be reciprocated. It can't be lopsided where one person is always getting something and the other one isn't getting nothing. That's not love. My husband and I, we exchange gifts. We give each other stuff every day. So when Christmas comes
Exactly.
around, there's nothing left. Just giving him my love. We just hug and each other. And his birthday is Christmas Eve. So he's
Wow. He
always
shares a birthday with my son. Yes.
he's like, I'm always cheated. I said, no, baby, you gotta give every day. Me.
For sure, right? Some powerful words there. I was just looking at some of our comments. And Sherelle said, encouraging words and reminder that our greatest gift to someone is ourselves, which is so powerful. I mean, Sherelle, you hit that on the head. Our greatest gift is really ourselves. And that's the thing about it. It is ourselves when we give of ourselves, and that's powerful to me. I've learned to live, these past 5 years, being by myself and uh, relearning life, and mine kind of hit me at a very interesting time because, in fact, I mean, being totally empty nester with all the kids grown, gone, college, and now with their own families. And then all of a sudden, my whole life has been built around them, raising
Yes.
children and family. And then all of a sudden you know, uh, find yourself alone, divorced, no children, and no nothing, and you go, how do I really, re-navigate things? And learning to love myself all over again, learning the fact that even giving, and once again, it is still giving for me. Uh, and Dr. Val, you and I both, we were always giving to different things. Your own foundation you have, we're giving things to children, and I over the years. I mean, you would think I'm Junior Santa Claus because I'm always getting gifts from kids and kids that are gone and those things. And it's getting a little bit thinner now because I now have my own grandkids. I have 6 of them now. So now that
Yeah,
I have,
we're tied.
yeah, yeah. So now I find myself a little thinner. I mean, I was like running before I got on because I'm like, okay, I need to put this in the mail so they can get to Tampa in time or get to Cleveland in time. But it's been amazing. I love the giving part of this holiday, giving of myself, giving of wisdom, giving of knowledge, and giving of just love. You know, earlier, so similar. I was a part of a panel, action group, spilling the tea. And we was talking about getting through the holidays. We was talking about those
It's
that are
hard. It's
spilling
hard.
grief
It's
and
very
grief
depressing.
and mourning through the holidays. What was so powerful was hearing people share their stories of how they get through. And then I was floored because a young lady that sat on the other side of me began to say one of the reasons that she's learned how to cope. She said, "You might not know this, but I tune into your broadcast all the time, and so I glean things that you said, and it's really helped me get through my difficult time." And all I could do is say, "Wow, thank you." She said, "No, thank you." And what I'm saying, you don't have to have a platform necessarily in the pulpit or on social media. Your life is your platform.
Your life is your
Your
platform.
life is your platform. Your life and who you are. Because at the end of the day, let me say something. Nobody's impressed by all the stuff you may own. You may think they are. I mean, you're more impressed than they are. Nobody is impressed because of all the things that you may have. But what they are impressed by is the fact of the fruit that you bear. Are you
Amen.
caring? Are you considering? Are you considerate towards other? Are you that person who will step back and be selfless and not always selfish? Because at the end of the day, that is how we make a difference. That's how we can help someone have a merry Christmas. That's how we can
Merry
help somebody
Christmas indeed.
experience peace and goodwill toward all men. And it's really about that, Dr. Val. Giving. And I'm always mindful of those. And there are many people that are on right now. I want you to know, and Dr. Val and I want you to know that, listen, you are so much bigger than a holiday. And I don't care what you're going through. Listen to what I'm saying. Whatever you're going through, it cannot last. It did not come to stay. It only came to pass. This is holiday season. Isn't that what we
It's a
say?
season.
Season. And so I understand season is just an allotted period of time. It's a allotted period of time for a specific set of circumstances, celebrations, or conditions, but it won't last. And that's the thing about it. It won't last. What you're going through won't last. You're weeping and doing but a night, but joy will come in the morning. I promise you. In the morning doesn't mean 24 hours, but what it does mean that in the morning, when the sun rises, listen, there's going to be new mercies, there's going to be new grace, and there's going to be the new restoration of you and who you are because you still have purpose. The other part,
Amen.
the other part,
Amen.
yeah, the other part of that is simply understanding that you're able to. You're able to make it through what you're going through because the winter, I don't care how cold it is, must yield itself to spring. It must yield itself to spring. And the springtime, no matter how beautiful it is with the blooming flowers and all that, will yield itself to summer, as if summer will yield itself to the fall of our lives. And I want someone that's listening to us today. You might be in the winter of your life. You may feel like it's a blizzard outside. You may be living in sunny South Florida, but in your own personal life, it may seem like you're in a blizzard. But the same word to you, whatever you're going through, it cannot last. It did not come to stay. It only came to pass. I want you to love on yourself. Give yourself a chance. Understand the fact that you are not alone. I need you to understand that you're not alone, that you'll get through this. Listen, Christmas, just not Christmas, not the one you love. Mm-mm. No, I'm telling you to love on yourself. Love on yourself. And you'll find out that it'll be a different tune and a different feeling.
Indeed. I want to thank all those that are tuned in with us live and those that are sent message on my girl, Dr. Janice Johnson. How are you? Love you. Thank you so much. Clara, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while. Sherelle, Dr. Monica,
Yes, Dr. Monica Roundtree Cleckley. Yes, our dear friend. Absolutely.
Michael,
Yeah.
Sierra. Thank you so much for joining in and tuning in. And I want you to pass the word that it's more than just a holiday. Don't get caught up. Don't get depressed. Don't crawl under a rock. Don't pull the covers over your head and try and sleep the day away. Because guess what? The day is missing you. You got to show up for the day. You be the light. You bring the joy to the hour. You're
Exactly.
special. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. You're handsome, you're beautiful, you're magnificent, and you are you. So
Yes.
we want to thank you so much for tuning in for Hot Topics from the Soul. And we ask that you join us again next week or the week after, Dr. J. When are we
Yes.
coming back? Because we got travel schedules, family, and everything
Yes.
coming in. But I just didn't want this month to go without us saying something to the people and acknowledging you and thanking you for always following us and supporting us.
Yes. And we just want to say to you, listen, even in 2024, as we look forward to it, we're looking to return back with stronger, larger, and just inside of everything that we know that needs to be spoken. And we want you to know something today. Never underestimate the value that's inside of you. You are somebody. I don't care what anyone say. Beware people who want to always rehearse your negatives. And I'm just saying, when people want to rehearse your negatives, when people want to rehearse your past failures, when people want to rehearse your past sins, when people want to rehearse your last downfall, when people want to rehearse the things that was painful in your life and they want to continue to rehearse it, I just say to you, don't join in the chorus. Don't join that stanza. Not at all. In other words, lift yourself up and begin to say that I'm better than that. Whatever they are talking about, it is your past. It is what you were. It is not who you are. As a matter of fact, I want you to do yourself a favor. Make up in your mind that I'm about to turn a new chapter, a new page. I'm entering a new chapter in my life. I'm going to be better. I'm going to be stronger. I'm going to be wiser. And I'm going to walk in wisdom. I'm going to walk in that because this is what this is all about. When I was a child, I spoke as a child, understood as a child. But when I became a man, that indicates maturity. I put away childish things. So it's okay to move that needle. Things that was a major and mattered to you years ago, and you start feeling like it really doesn't matter that much to you now, it's okay. Because it just signifies that you are doing exactly what you're supposed to do. You are going through your metamorphosis like a caterpillar, turning into a butterfly. There's time that you've got to develop, and there are certain things that are going to fall off of you. And I hope one of the things that fall off of you is men's concern about men's opinion. Because at the end of the day, a person's opinion in $2.89 can't get you nothing but a cup of coffee. Check out Starbucks, okay?
Amen.
Get you a cup of coffee. And I promise you, they will give you a cup of coffee for $2.89 without men's opinion.
Amen. And don't allow somebody's opinion of you dictate your reality, and never ever prioritize anyone that makes you an option. Good night. God
Absolutely.
bless, and thank you for another Hot Topics from the Soul. Happy holidays.
Holidays. Take care.